I loved the gentle touch that like I received through it, right? Like there was just a sweet, gentle, safe touch. And I could feel the energy everywhere that they touched. And I'm like, I know something's happening. Because I'm like, if they touch my shoulder, I'm like, oh, there's some heat there. There's some energy there. So I appreciated that. So I felt like it was tailored to me, and we were able to create an intention together. So it was us working together. She wasn't just working on me. It was just me being there. Anyway, I liked it.
Cool.
So there you go.
Yay! Yay! Well, I'm glad you had a good experience. Anyone
Me
else?
too.
I know, right? First time you go do something new, it's always like, hope this goes good. But that intention is enough. You go do what you're supposed to. Thank you. So, why Reiki? What does it do? Reiki can help you relax and relieve stress. A lot of hospitals are now using Reiki to calm patients down that are in pain management and before procedures and stuff. So they've got people there helping with Reiki that way. You can use Reiki to move blocks that are causing pain in your body, because sometimes pains really are just your muscles and cells being so tight because there's not a good flow of energy in your body. And so Reiki can help remove blocks and restore the proper flow of energy to your energy system. And it actually can help with like chronic things like diseases. Like I use Reiki on my cold sores and on lung infections and on sprained ankles and, a myriad of health problems, and to help calm myself when I need calming, because that's really nice too. We all need that, right? Woo, woo! Everybody, woo, woo, for calming down. Woo! That's right. No one's had too much calm out there. Okay, I'm glad you're all laughing with me. Well, just to tell you a little bit about how I got started with Reiki. I was, starting in the energy world, and I started feeling energy flow through my hands. And the very first experience I had doing it on somebody, I had a really good friend come over, and she was really in the middle of like a family crisis, and she was just crying, and I just instinctively put my hand behind her back, in the middle of her back, and I felt this little zing in my hand, and my hand got heavier and heavier and heavier, and then I was like flipping it, and then it was, it feels nice and normal again. I put my hand back, and after about 3 times, she noticed it, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I don't know." She's like, "Well, every time you move your hand away, I feel lighter." And I'm like, "Oh, hey, welcome, come on down." So I grabbed a chair right there. Oh, great. Oh, excellent. Welcome. And you guys can do chairs over here, if that's okay. So that was my first experience with moving energy and feeling that I could move it. Now, that right here is probably wherever you're comfortable there. So, moving energy with your hands. Some people have already experienced. You have arrived. He has arrived. His GPS just let him know he's here. Sorry. Okay. All right. Before I go on, let's just go around the room really fast, and you guys online can see who's here. So there's Amy Dickey, Erica Belliston, Marissa Waldrop, Susan McCall, Sherry. I don't know your last name, Sherry.
Wonder Woman.
Sherry Wonder Woman. That is good. That is excellent. Mr. Bishop, I don't know your first name. Ben. And Ashley's coming. Look at Ashley a second. There's Patty Channel. Yeah, we'll say hi to Ashley when she goes. And then for you guys to see online people, well, I guess you're not going to get to. Sorry. Watch the video and you'll see their faces. So, anyway. Okay. What? Bye. Okay. the key, the personal energy that everybody talks about in Reiki, it's just, in Christianity's terms, which is what I'm comfortable with, so that's usually where I go, is a lot of people, the Chinese call it the chi, Japanese call it ki, your spirit, your essence, whatever. I call it your spirit. And the source energy, I believe that comes from God. Some call it Buddha, universe, whatever. I usually just call it source energy, and you can choose whatever source you're comfortable calling it. But channeling in source energy to places that need that balance, sometimes that's all you need. It's been so amazing, like what I've been able to do. I was just one fast story about what I did with Reiki once. Yeah, you want to go grab her? Yeah, please go for it. Brother, Mr. Bishop is going to go let his wife in. I was picking grapes and with a neighbor of mine on her property, and I went to grab a bunch of grapes, and there was a wasp there I didn't see. And being protective of itself, it stung me. And you guys know how bad it hurts. Hey, Ashley. No, I'm glad you're here. Everybody else got some screen time, so now you know. Ashley. So you know how bad it hurts right away. I mean, just throbbing and the zinging and stuff. So I immediately just put my hand on my finger, and I was like, oh, okay. So I just started kind of breathing, and my intention was to pull in some source energy, and I'm like, okay, please just heal this. And I know that it bit me, so there's venom that went in there. My body's reacting to it. My cells don't like it. So I just kind of think about it, and I thought, I'm like, okay, so my friend's like, oh no, do you need some ice? Do we need to go? Do you need to go home? And I'm just like, no, just give me a minute. And I was just in my mind, I imagined the venom just coming right back out and transmuting into some pretty purple energy or something in the sky. And I just sat there and breathed for about a minute until it stopped throbbing, and I moved my hand away, and I'm like, oh yeah, look. She's like, let me see. And it wasn't swollen or anything, it was just a little dot, just a red dot. It didn't hurt. I'm like, okay. She's like, what? What did you just do? I'm like, I just healed my finger. And so I know there's lots of things you can do. You can do it. Oh, and we have a baby, and she's cooing. She likes these ladies on this couch. Oh my gosh, I'm being upstaged totally. I know, look at her. Oh my gosh. Okay, maybe I won't post this video because I'm being so distracted. But no, it's good. No, this is a good distraction. So that's one of my most poignant, quick healing moments with Reiki. But a really big part of Reiki is your intention. And like Shelby said, when she and her practitioner started her Reiki session, they just had an intention of what they wanted to accomplish. And that's usually what I do when I talk to them. I'm like, well, is there a specific thing that's bothering you? Is there an issue you want to talk about or work on? Is there an ache or illness or something? And focusing on what your intention is, then energy just flows and follows your intentions. I don't know if you guys knew that. So it's kind of like if you've ever watched The Secret, the power of manifestation, what you focus on grows. Yeah, your intention can be enough to channel it. Like I've seen that happen, that even if I can't put my hands on somebody and I just focus on them, I'm able to channel that source energy to them. So there we go. So really cool experiences you can have with Reiki. So I promised some hands-on, and I want to tell you just a little bit more about where this Reiki came from. And then we will practice a little bit with feeling energy. Does that sound good? Yeah, thumbs up everybody online too. Yeah, yeah, and here, thumbs up around the room. We're gonna be dancing. Okay, so a few things to be aware of when you're starting to do any energy moving of any kind is with your intention. If you just have the intention to use source energy, that's important to just have that in your head, because there are different sources of energy out there that can be powerful. So that's all you need to think about. That is I want to use pure light source energy. There we go. That's all I need there. When you're using your hands and doing Reiki on other people, it's really good to protect yourself because there's this energy flow between you, and you just need to make sure in your intention, you in your head, you like visualize or just intend that the source energy comes into you and flows out through you, but nothing negative comes back into you. And you can even imagine like energetic Wonder Woman bracelets. Or purple is a really good protective color. You can imagine purple bracelets, so you can wear purple bracelets if you wanted. And then that can protect you from taking back on any negative energy back from the person you're working on. And that's the thing is, there's people that do energy work and they feel really drained and like so tired after. Well, that's when they haven't had the intention to be a conduit. We need to feel like we are a PVC pipe, not a pot. So we're not a pot giving our energy to the person. We are a conduit for source energy that we know is unlimited source, and so it doesn't drain us. It just moves through us and actually like benefits us as it flows through us. So those intentions are really important.
Sorry, you're saying we're the pot, not the pipe? That's what you're saying?
Yeah, we're the pipe, not the pot. You don't want to be a pot.
Right, so we're not the pot, but we are the pipe. Why do I feel like we're talking drugs here?
It smells like we're talking about pot, pipe, smoking. That is a different relaxation method.
What call am I on?
It's not legal in Utah yet, so I can't teach you about that. Oh my gosh, I've done so much of it.
I thought I was on a healing call, but not that kind of healing.
Different herbs. Every herb does have a different frequency you can feel. Thank you.
What's that down there?
What's that? Oh my! I got an emoji pillow down there. Anyway, yeah, the tears coming out my eyes. Yes. So we are not a container, a pot. I'm going to use that forever now. We're not a pot. We're a pipe. I'm gonna see who catches it from now on. I love it. Okay, that was unintentional, but now it's intentional from now on. Those intentions are all you're going to need to like protect yourself, and make sure you're using the right source and do that. The other thing that's super important when you're doing Reiki is your breathing. You need to breathe deep and imagine the source energy coming through you. Reiki is supposed to come in through your head, down into your heart, and then up and out through your arms. That is the flow of Reiki. And to do that, there's a few things you need to be doing too. Is you need to be grounded. Who's familiar with being grounded? I think everybody in this room. Hi, sweetheart. Yeah. Is anyone not familiar with how to be grounded, like energetically grounded? Because I want to cover that. You're going to get grounded today too. I've already grounded my kids in the room, so no.
I'm not super
familiar. Okay.
Could you give us? I've heard different techniques. Could you maybe give me your favorite technique?
Sure.
Because I'm still like.
Ashley asked to know one of my favorite techniques. My favorite technique, my favorite technique is just to go stand in the grass, because you're having contact. Your feet contacting nature can ground you, and it's really just your energy being bonded with the earth energy. You can do something as just as easy as closing your eyes and imagining counterclockwise circles under your feet, just opening up your energy channels under your feet, and then just roots spreading out into the earth's energy. And everybody has a little personal energy pod or star in the earth that's theirs, and you can imagine connecting to that and just sending out that intention that you're grounded that way. That's important. And then since energy is flowing through here, it's good that this is nice and open and clear. So you can rub your hand over your head up there. Oh my gosh, you guys are great. You guys are like, tell me.
We're both bald too.
Yeah. See, he's like, I'm clear. There's no hair. He's clear. He's got a clear crown up there. Oh, you guys are comedians. I love it. This is Reiki has to be boring. Nobody. Oh, I love it. So yeah, we have the energy spot right here on the top of our head. It's called our crown chakra. And you can imagine with your mind just opening it up and then receiving and connecting to your star in the sky, your solar star, and just being open for the energy to come. So breathing is super important. So because if you're not breathing, it's kind of, breathing breathes energy and breathes healing. And so slow and constant breathing can really help. There's other breathing techniques you can learn in later Reiki things. There's the dragon breath and all these different breathing techniques that do different things. But basically, breathing, grounding, protecting your intentions, that's all you need. Does that sound simple? I hope that sounds simple. So that's the basics when you get started. So how about we all feel something? Yeah. Everybody, let's go ahead and ground like I just described. If your feet don't have to be on the ground, but you could put them on the floor, just, however they're comfortable, and do that. Let's just imagine like there's these, you can't reach the floor. I'm a short-legged lady. No. So just imagine the bottoms of your feet just opening up. Take a deep breath. And then as you take another deep breath, imagine those, as you blow out, roots just going wide and deep out of your feet into the earth and connecting with your own little pot of energy down there, your solar, your earth star. So. And one more deep breath. Okay. And then let's all open up our crown chakras. Just imagine that power center there just opening up. You might feel your scalp tingle a little bit. Sometimes people feel heat, sometimes they feel tingle. And just imagine big conduits of energy going from you to your solar star or to your source. A couple deep breaths there too. Everything just got so nice and peaceful. Okay, no jokes, right? We're not gonna joke now. No. So you're actually already channeling. As you open that up, you're channeling the energy into your body, and it's good to do that before you try to do Reiki on anyone. Is get that energy flowing from source. So yeah. You all are connected. Congratulations. So now I want to do something fun. I want everybody, no matter where you are, put your hands open like this. You can lay them on your lap. They don't have to be up. I'm just doing it like so the online people can see because there's this little camera. But yeah, you can have them just open. I'm going to put my hands like this, and I'm just going to imagine that I'm putting my hands on top of yours and just sending energy in your hands, and just kind of start nodding when you can feel it, okay? Feel it in your hands, the energy flow. Does that freak anybody out that I'm doing it from here? And even, how about Virginia ladies? Julie, Patty, are you feeling it?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Isn't that weird? We got two ladies in Virginia. You could feel it from Utah to Virginia. Isn't that so cool? Because energy it goes at the speed of thought, and it's because the source energy is everywhere. With our intention, it's gone from my hands to your hands, wherever they are. You feeling that? Everybody feel it? Oh, that's so cool. Okay. You feel tingle, you feel warm. Is there anybody that's not? Don't feel ashamed, because sometimes you have blocks in your wrists and you don't know it. But everybody's feeling it? How about everybody online?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody. Okay, cool. I was going to say, definitely type in if you're not. Okay, you You're pros. Okay, class dismissed. No, no, I'm kidding. You now know you can feel energy. Okay, so a good way to, you can like do this to amp it up before you start like deciding, okay, I've got a shoulder pain. Okay, let me put my hands out, feel energy flowing. Okay, so everybody put your hands together like this and just kind of find how big your ball of energy is. Sometimes you'll be able to kind of feel a little tension when you get to how big your energy is that you just feel. And kind of bounce it, swirl it. You feel that? Any Guardians of the Galaxy people who play ball? No, just kidding. Yeah. You can't feel it. If you need to get some energy going, rub your hands together. That can get the energy going too, or I can just like send you some more, connect you there again.
I only feel it in one hand.
In just one hand? Okay, take the other hand and just go like this on both sides 3 times.
So the one that's not working?
You most likely have a block if you can't feel it in both hands. So, anybody else not be able to feel it in both hands? No? You're good. If that's ever the case that you only feel it in one hand, then just take the other hand and just swipe on the bottom side of your arms and then on the top and see if that helps. If not, then start your shoulder and do the same thing, because then there's probably a block along your arm somewhere. Okay, everybody have an energy ball? How cool is that? You guys feel it? Okay, so then you can, with Reiki, does anybody have a pain they want to put that in? You all have somewhere? Everybody pick somewhere that's either a little kinked or something. Mine's right here. I'm going to put mine right here. Put your ball of energy somewhere that you want to feel more balanced or less pain. Put mine right here. And just take 3 deep breaths. And as you're breathing, imagine more source energy coming in to your heart, down your arm, and out your hand. Just continual flow there.
Is it normal to get dizzy?
You can if your energy's off. A good way to balance yourself if you're feeling dizzy is just to run your hand up and over your head, from your chin up and over to the back of your neck. Do that a few times.
Because I get dizzy almost whenever I focus in on energy. It has me get dizzy.
You get dizzy?
Is she hydrated?
Almost every time.
Hydration too, yes. Shelby's hydrated. But take another sip of water. I'm like, Shelby is like,
dizzy when I'm not hydrated.
yeah. Ashley mentioned she gets dizzy when she gets hydrated. That's a very good question, Shelbs, because dehydration can do that, and having your energy system off. This usually aligns you good enough to help you not feel off. But here's another thing. If this doesn't do good enough to balance your energy to stop any dizzy, then take your arms and go up over your shoulder and just push down and then pull across your body. Let's see if you guys, 3 times each side. Because sometimes our energy system, it's going up and down our body laterally, and it's supposed to cross. So sometimes if you tap into energy and you're not have your energy flowing the right way, then that can throw you off. There you go. Oh, look at all the cool techniques you guys. I wasn't going to teach you this, but this is good. Thanks for having dizziness, Shelby. You helped us all. It's supposed to cross. Yeah, it's supposed to cross over your heart. Yep. Cool. So there you go. So anytime you have a headache, or your kid comes to you with a stomach ache, or you've got a toothache or something, there's something you can try. I mean, because it could just be that the energy is blocked. It could be that there's infection there, and then you have to use your intuition and wisdom on how long you just do Reiki before you do what you normally would do. But I have saved ourselves from having to go to the doctor a ton by doing this. So other basic ideas that you should know when you're doing energy, when you're doing Reiki, is you can put the Reiki in a spot where you want it, and that helps with like acute, immediate stuff. But if you want to do preventative, there's a whole sequence of starting at different parts of energy parts on your head. So I have flyers, and you guys that are online, I will email these, and I'll pull them up on the here, take one pass around. Excuse me, on the screen here. Let me screen share this. Oh, where did you go? I had them up. Oh, no. Whoa, you guys just got some music for a second. Let me pull these flyers up, and I'll share them on. Everyone will be able to see them online. No, come on. I'm going to share these. So, as you see, you have any extras? Yeah. I should have in front of me what you guys have in front of you, right? All right. So you see, you start at the top of your head, and if you're working on somebody, do this grounding and opening their crown chakra too. And then you start, if you see, you start ears, and it's.
Where are you going off of? No, you're doing it or they're doing it?
You're doing it to them. You can do it on yourself. Like I showed, let me pull this up for these guys.
Or you're touching your
You're touching them.
Okay.
You're not actually touching. Actually, all I ever do is I hover. I don't actually ever, because I love to feel the energy flow between. And for me, I can't feel it as good when I'm actually touching somebody. If my hands are hovering just even this much, I can feel it better. Everybody's a little different. Like some people don't feel it through their hands, but they put their hands in different places, and like in their mind's eye, they see what's going on, and they like see mucky, and then they see it turn clear and stuff. So let me get that mucky. That's my technical term there. All right, let me. Oh my gosh, why is this not letting me pull up this flyer? I'll pull it up online, and then it'll let me do that. Sure.
Can you do Reiki on yourself?
You can do it on yourself. That's why there's 2 flyers. I'll just show you guys on here. There's a flyer I'm going to put up that this is how you do Reiki on yourself. And there's all these different points where you put your hands, so you can either touch yourself or you just hover to, and just deep, slow breathing while you feel the flow going through you, and that you're channeling that source energy into you. And when you feel the source stop, then it's that area's got enough. And sometimes you are there for just a few seconds, and sometimes it's like a minute or 2. Depends on how much blockage or anything you have. So until you, oh shoot, you guys, I'm sorry. Let me pull it up online. It's letting me show online stuff on Zoom, but I don't know why it's not letting me show my desktop. Oh, it is. There it is. Let's see. Let me close down these. Okay, can you see it on online now, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. So you start, they're up here. Sometimes I start on ears, sometimes I start on eyes. I kind of just try to listen to the spirit and see where they need to go first. But the sequence, as you can see, eyes, and they have on the side of the head, but I do over your ears, because that is what I was taught. And then your top of your head, back of your head, and then you get this one she's got on her chin here. And then your throat. If you're doing it on somebody else, I do side by side. But here she's got it like one hand on her heart, one hand on her throat. It's really just following your chakras. Now you go right underneath your chest line to your solar plexus. Oh, you can't see. Solar plexus, then to your sacral, and then down to your root. And I'll just say this: when you're working on somebody else, your root chakra is right over your groin area. If you don't know this person, go to their hips, like the side of their hips. It accesses the root chakra, and then you're not like hovering over. Okay, so it could be uncomfortable for and so yeah, you're supposed to the root chakra to get the Reiki flowing there. Hips totally works, just on the side of the hips. It totally takes care of the root chakra. And then it shows the back positions too. Now, it doesn't show on this flyer, but it shows on the other one that after you're done with the torso, you go down to your knees, ankles, and feet. So that's something in this one that you guys have got up. Let me pull up the other one. Now you guys get to see my Reiki friends. That's not. Is it on the desktop? Oh, there we go. Okay, so here's the other one that I gave everybody here. So you're doing it on somebody else. And no 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, fireworks. Oh, and then knees, because there's energy sources or energy meridians, knees, ankles, tops of feet first as you're doing the top of the body, and then you have them flip over and you do the back points. And it's really, the back points are just mimicking the front points, the back of the neck, shoulder area, then middle of the back, stomach, lower back, hips, back of the knees, back of the ankles, bottom of the feet. And that's it. You just do that progression and just kind of, and sometimes if you're like, okay, I just need a really quick tune-up of everything, then you can time yourself and be the same amount of time in each section. Or if you have more time and you really just want to give your body exactly what it needs, then just keep your hands there until the flow stops, and then you can know that you're good. And then you move on. When you're done doing the whole body, then it's important to kind of brush off any excess energy off of them. So it's just like this brushing motion that you brush it, and you can brush it off yourself. And just imagine that as you're brushing it off, it transmutes into light, beautiful, fluffy, white energy. And your intention will do that. That's all you need. And off their backs and stuff. Just brushing off any excess energy that you pulled up or that got pushed out, any blocks that may be hovering around that got pushed out when the source energy came in. It's just good to clean house. The last thing we do is we clean house at the end. And then as Reiki people, we wrap people in different colors of light. So you can choose what color of light. And sometimes it represents the chakra that needed the most work. Sometimes it just, you never know. I mean, it can be gold. It can, I had pink sparkles one day come to mind. I just say, okay, what color of energy does this person need to be wrapped in? And you can just imagine it, just this energetic blanket around you. So that is like the sequence of like a whole Reiki session. That's like the basics of it. So that if you did that preventatively, like every day, you potentially could avoid the headaches and the pains from coming up, because your energy will be cleaned up and it'll be flowing the right way. So, okay, what questions do you guys have about that?
Kathy,
yes.
I have one. Working on a client long distance.
Yeah.
So, like, do you just imagine you're hovering over their body, or do you hover over your own?
You could use yourself as proxy, but I always just imagine they're laying there in front of me, and I just start at their head and yeah, move down them if you're doing it. Now, that's a good question, Karen. That's a deep question. Did anyone not understand what her question was? Like, you know how Virginia people could feel me send that energy. You can do Reiki sessions. Yeah, Julie. You can do Reiki session and Reiki work no matter where anyone else is. So your kid calls from school, I have a stomach ache, and say, hey, go get a drink of water and just sit there for a minute, and you just breathe and you tap into their, and I sometimes do to put my hands on my stomach. I'm like, okay, I'm sending energy there, and most of the time that's enough. And you can do that. So is that weird out anybody? Sometimes that concept is like, what? But everybody's good? Cool. Patty had a question here.
Yeah. Hi. When you are working on yourself or on somebody else, can you do it like with one hand, or do you have to do it with both hands and keep one hand like in contact somehow while the other one's
You don't have to have any physical contact
I
at all,
know, but like say my head's hurting. So can I just do it with one hand, or what do I do with the other, or do I have to do it?
You don't have to do it with, that's a good question. You don't have to do it with two. Sometimes I do it with two because that's just two, these are your conduits. So it's just two sources of energy there. But if you can only use one hand, you can use one. I've done a whole Reiki session just holding in someone's hand.
Does it
do it through there.
interrupt the flow if you are just like whatever with this hand and you're just using
Does it interrupt the flow? No, it just means if you think of, okay, that source of power, it comes in through your head, to your heart, out through your arms, and out through it won't interrupt the flow. It's just this hand's like going, oh, well, I don't have anything to do. You can just do it with one hand.
You can just do two places at one time, right? Like head and knee?
You can, if you feel like wanting to do two places, like they're often, I'll do the third eye and the solar plexus because someone can't recognize their own power. And so putting energy on the third eye and their power place is good. Yeah, wherever you feel like, if you feel like, oh, yeah, well, this hand's here, but this, like somewhere in your body goes, ah! And a lot of times pain that comes up when you're working on yourself is that part of the body going, me. So yeah, go ahead and put your other hand in the other place. And yeah, that there's nothing wrong with that. And it actually can be quite intuitive that you know what? I didn't learn this till like Reiki 2. So congratulations, you guys. You are like advanced. But you can put your two hands in different places to channel energy at the same time. To put those two body parts in sync, or those two their energy parts in sync, or something. So
now, what if you're in church or whatever in a public place?
You're in a public place,
and you want to do Reiki on your head, but you don't want to like be like this. Can you do it intentionally without your hands?
You can. You can just channel energy without having to use your hands. Sometimes it takes a little. Okay, so sometimes did you all, everybody online hear that? My question. Yes. You can channel the Reiki energy just with your intentions. Sometimes it takes a little practice going, okay, my hands are here, but I'm just going to send energy. Like, why don't we all do it right now? Let's tell everybody without using your hands. Take a deep breath, Reiki in, and send it to your right shoulder. Y'all feel that? You feel it in your right shoulder? Just with breathing and focusing on it. If you don't, you could have a block.
Feels like icy hot.
Feels like icy hot, kind of tingly? Yeah. See, there you go. You guys are so advanced. That's awesome. It's like icy hot. You need to breathe a little more. And if you can't feel it, it could be that there's a block in your neck, and you need to do all those positions on you to get the energy flowing. But you can focus on your head, you can focus on ear, you can just play around with it and be like, okay, I'm gonna breathe in Reiki to my toe, my right big toe, and just play with it. And you can just do it with your intention. So especially that is especially helpful in public, church and the store, and I know, but I often I'll sit and rub my third eye sometimes because that doesn't look crazy, and sometimes I'm shameless. I don't care what people think, but I'm just like, I need balanced. And people they'll do different hands. You'll be like, oh, I'm doing my hair. Like the fawns. Yeah, it doesn't mess up answer. You can make a lot of Reiki moves look like normal stuff if you care.
Hey, Kathy.
Yeah.
How do we get to see you again?
How do you get to see me again? Like after tonight?
No, like now.
Oh, you can't see me now. Oh, thank you for saying. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize. Of course, because you're on Stop Share, you didn't get to see me. I was on sharing. Thank you, Patty, because you can't see what I'm doing. Oh yeah, I was doing this.
You can actually swipe to the right, even when you're screen sharing. You can swipe to the right so you see people, or swipe to the left.
Swipe to the left. There you go. Yeah. So, Patty, if we were on screen share, you can still see me.
I could still see you.
You can still see me, Karen?
Yeah, down in the corner. You were still there.
Oh, good. There should be a small box of me still on you guys' screen. Oh, good. A small
No,
box.
I took the small box
of me.
off.
It's just a box of Kathy. I don't fit in a box. Okay, we have a question here.
Okay, so just thinking about the bellyache, right, of your child. Or something, or headache or something. Do you usually pull out energy first and then put in energy, or do you just send good energy?
Send good energy. That is a very good question, because the way I started feeling and moving energy, I was like using my hands as energy magnets, pulling out the bad, and with my intention, just good filling in, which can work. You can do that and pull out, like, I especially like, that's a really, really good question, because like when I start to get a cold sore and I can feel the tingle, I'm like, oh, because I know the name of it, I'm like, herpes, out. Like, imagine this string of, and I'm just like out, and then I will like put my hand there or my finger there and channel it. And yeah, so a lot of times I'll do both. I'll be like, if I feel, and sometimes if I feel something's like swollen, I'll be like, okay, let's pull out the swollen. Oh, another good technique along that same line is if you have something that, like an ankle that's swollen, or someone's having diarrhea or something, and you want to slow things down, counterclockwise circles will slow energy down and make it go backwards. And clockwise circles make it ramp up and give it more energy. So like if you've got a tension headache because there's so much tension, you're not going to go right, because that will like put more energy and it'll make. And sometimes when you very first, I learned this by the accident because I was doing that. My husband's like, oh, that hurts worse, that hurts worse. I'm like, and then I felt like I should go the opposite way. I'm like, and then I went to an energy healers conference and they told me that. I'm like, oh, I knew that by experience. But yeah, so counterclockwise, it slows down or dissipates the energy, or opens. Like if you want to unwind and open a chakra, left the counterclockwise circles will do that. But if there's like, if you feel like, sometimes you feel like your heart is emptied or like you don't have enough energy somewhere, then yeah, clockwise circles ramps it up. So very good question.
Clockwise opens though, right?
No, counterclockwise.
You just said counterclockwise closes.
It slows down energy. It unwinds it. And then clockwise revs it up. So if you want to have it more energy, then you go clockwise.
What if you want to zip it up?
Then you in my head, I just go, yeah, just tie it off. That's a good question. She said, if you want to just stop the energy, because sometimes there's so much, too much energy in the chakra, and like, and you go to it and you're like, whoa, it's like, there's so much, then yeah, you can do the counterclockwise and bring it down. Or if there's no flow at all, you can kind of rev it up. You can't mess yourself up too bad. Your intentions are to heal yourself and to bring source energy in and help you. That intention will override any technique problem you have. Really. Okay, Patty's got another question.
So like after you tie yourself off, so that how long does it take, or what causes it to open back up without you opening it back up?
That's a very good question. That's like level 4.0. That's a good energy question. No, she asked, once you tie yourself up, how long does that last? If we do things that like throw our energy off, like if we interact with somebody in anger can throw your energy off. Any differences in your energy, if you're scared or if you feel threatened, or that can like throw your energy off and open you up to be off. And then you're kind of undone, so to speak. But just having your intention to, okay, a few good breaths and I can get back to where I was, that can get you back where you were, and then you can just zip up that area or zip up your whole being and then get back to that balance of where you were before. Especially, there's a symbol they use in Reiki called Hansha Ze Shonen, and it goes across time and space borders. That's what they use to say, oh, we did it then, now we're going to copy it and paste it into now. So that's a a real technique that they use, like copy and paste. I just say in my head, because you can say Han Shaze Shonen doesn't roll off the tongue until you practice it a lot. Copy paste. It works. It's not the Yusui term. Han Shaze Shonen is the term. But copy paste, it works because your intention is to work. So if you get to this really nice Zen place in the morning because you're all Reiki'd up and and something throws you off and you're not all tied up and wrapped in gold, glorious energy anymore, then just meditating for a minute, breathing, and with your intentions, copying and pasting that energy back. You can get it back. You can if you take the time to stop yelling at your kids and or pull over the car, whatever your situation is that's kind of throwing your energy off. Sometimes people's energies can throw us off. I'm sure you've experienced this. You're around certain people and you're like, and then you're around certain people and you'll just feel love from them. And so other people's energies can affect you, but you also can just imagine pushing their energy back and away from you, because you have stewardship over your energy, and you can, with your intention, just be like, nope, block wall. Love can come and go, but everything else, that's your stuff. If you start feeling, because some people don't realize it, but they like catch their energy too. This is such advanced stuff, but that's things that can happen. So, oh my goodness, it can't possibly be 7:52. Okay, I asked everybody at home to have a plant or something nearby because I wanted you guys to feel that you can feel nature's energy. So if you've never done that before, your assignment today then is to like right away go out and put your hands, now that our hands are all activated, put your hands over a plant and then put it over concrete and feel the difference of that, because you can do Reiki on plants. You can do Reiki on animals. You can do Reiki on anything that has a spirit or energy to it. Really, one last fast story was last summer. I had a garden and my beans weren't doing well. And I got the fertilizer they said to get, and I put it on it. And it helped a little bit, but not like I wanted. And I'm like, was right in the middle of my Reiki master training. And I'm like, I'm going to Reiki them, but I'm not Reikiing all of them. I'm going to have a control group. And I did. You can go back to my Facebook and see my Facebook Live post. But my bean plants were all about that tall when I started the stuff. And they've been growing for like 2 months. It was like, come on, would you grow? And so these plants over here, I just fertilized and watered like normal. And these I fertilized, watered, and I Reiki'd. And they were no doubt, they were like up to my weight, just above my waist and tall. I had a spike to let them climb, and they were as tall as the spike. The other ones had a spike, but they weren't growing. So you can send source energy to plants. If your plant's starting to die, it's not your thumb. Get your palms out and give it some Reiki. Send it some source energy because, give it some fertilizer. It does need to have the nutrients it needs. But sometimes, like, I gave it every nutrient it needed and it just still wasn't growing. So seriously, you could go back to it almost exactly a year ago and go see my Facebook Live. I'm like, you guys check it out. And you can see the differences because they were amazing. So, well, I hope you all got some. I will email these to you guys that are online. If I did not, is there anybody on that did not email me? If you haven't got an email from me today and you want these flyers, put your email in the little chat. Meriden said that she uses a stuffed animal for distance work. And just uses a stuffed animal as a visual to look at, and you can just line up pillows too. Oh, thank you, Meriden. I hope she's still here. Did she still here? Yep, there you are. Okay, well, I want to keep within what I told you I'd be from 7 to 8. There's only 5 minutes left. So, is there any other questions before I wrap up? Just basic. That's basic Reiki, you guys. And you guys are like more well equipped than I was planning on because you've got good questions. So, okay, one more question. Yes, you're good.
Okay, so you mentioned the palms
Uh-huh.
of the hands, but I thought I heard something about a difference in your fingertips. Is there any?
There is. That's a good question. If energy can come out through your fingertips, but it doesn't come out as high of a rate. Your palms is where the best flow comes. I mean, if you want to move energy, your fingertips can move it, but it doesn't flow as good through your fingers. Your palms are where, the palms are where the biggest concentration. Yeah, there is a chakra there. That's why. Yeah, Iron Man. Yes, we are Iron Man. Shoot, energy. So that was a good question. So yeah, in different energy techniques, we use our fingertips to move energy. Then when we don't want to transfer to happen, but when you want to transfer to happen, you want to use your palm. So yeah, good questions. But that was really fast. An hour is not enough. Okay, so if you're feeling like this too, and you want to spend more time with me and maybe take the next level up, I am going to do a level 1 class where we go through all of the level 1 stuff. And at the end, we do your attunement. So then you are stamp of approval to do level 1 type work on yourself and other people and stuff. So if you're anyone that's interested, okay, anyone online that might be interested in doing that, where was my... Did I not print it? I didn't print it out. I got it all nice and pretty on my computer, and then I didn't print it out. Oh, no, I just want you guys to, anyone that wants to keep going, because it's really fascinating. There's so much more to it and different techniques, and you can use stones, and you can use colors, and you can use vibration, tuning fork things to help with, and singing bowls, the Tibetan singing bowls, and the different chakra bowls and stuff. There's a lot more techniques and stuff we can do. So what I want you guys to do is, if you enjoyed this and your interest is peaked and you want to go to the next level and go to the next class, then everyone online say, yes, please, I want more information about the next class. And everybody here, just put name and phone number down. The levels where you get attuned and stamp of approval, you're good to do this. The cost is usually about $197 it's about 12 hours of instruction. And we'll either break that up over 2 or 3 days. I haven't quite decided which. What I want to do is I want to see who wants to do that, and then I want to see if days will work best, or weekends work best, or evenings work best. I want to tailor it to everybody that wants to do it. So if you're interested in that, usually $197 is the price for that. But I've been telling you on there, I'm going to give you guys a special. I'm only doing it for $147 because it's my first time. But you guys that were here, I would take $50 more off, and I won't want you guys there. So $97 will be everyone that has been here tonight can come to that first level class for $97 for that 12 hours of instruction plus the stamp of approval. Thank you, Zoe, for your help. So there we go. Yeah, doable. Yay! So thank you guys. Thank you here. Thank you and online for being here. Give yourselves a round of applause for feeling awesome energy. Thank you, Zoe, my beautiful assistant. Thank you, Zoom, for being a wonderful platform. So fun to have you East Coasters. I'm glad you're not underwater. Julie and Patty, thanks for joining us from way out there. Any other last minute thoughts or questions, Shelley?
I just want you to see my cute plant because I brought a plant in.
Oh, good. Yeah, show me your plant. Oh, it's a sunflower.
It's in this cute little pot.
Oh, cute, Karen. I love it. Yeah, if we had had more time, we would have had our hands over plants and feel the transfer between you, because that can be something too. Is if you're out in nature, you just grab nature is a really good scrubber. So anything in nature can help you scrub your energy. You can just, yeah. So thank you. Julie, thanks for coming. Oh, I love your, oh, that's right. Patty was telling us earlier, not this Patty, but the Patty in Virginia was telling us earlier that she got a kidney from Julie that's on our class. Julie was her donor for a new kidney, and that's how they know each other. Patty, did you and Julie know each other before your transplant?
We worked with each other.
Oh,
for
so
over 11 years. Yeah.
oh,
We sit next to each other.
Kindred spirits.
kindred spirits, kindred kidneys.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome that you just happen to be a match sitting next to each other there. That's miraculous right there. That's awesome.
Yes.
All right.
Interesting.
Thank you, Kathy.
Online. Love you all. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thanks for being
Thank
on there. Thanks you guys for being here. And I'm gonna